What's up, everybody? How's it going? Bradley's back at you. This is now day 4 of a 7-part series where we are talking about and reviewing the launch strategies that we are affectionately calling the Maldives Honeymoon strategies. This is all based on a case study I did for about a year, and we recapped it in an hour-long podcast that we did a few weeks ago. So if you guys want to just see that whole episode, if you have an Apple podcast app, if you have an iPhone, just go to your podcast app and type in Serious Sellers Podcast and just look for episode 200. If you don't have Apple, you can see that with Spotify. Look for Serious Sellers Podcast and look for the one that says a Maldives Honeymoon. So today, in the first few days, we talked about not starting your listing until you're ready to start sales. That was one of the strategies that we talked about. On day 2, we talked about trying to target keywords in your launch stage that not many competitors have in their title. In day 3, we talked about how to have different phrase form keywords that you're targeting in your title, but multiple ones without keyword stuffing. I call that method the keyword stuffing without keyword stuffing. So go back if you're watching this on one of the Facebook groups, and you can see some of those recap videos right here as well. Today, what we're going to be talking about is related competitors. So targeting keywords, related keywords from related competitors, and how that ties in to how Amazon views a new listing. So we're going to get to that in a little bit. But before then, meantime, wherever you guys are watching from, go ahead and put in the comments where you guys are watching from, what state, what country, where you're watching online. Is it LinkedIn? You watch it on YouTube, Facebook, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up or a like right there too on whatever platform you're watching on. And this series is brought to you in part by this year-end special that we have. You might have seen it. We have a special going on right now for Helium 10, 25% off 2 months of Helium 10, 25% off of the Platinum or the Diamond plan, plus 2 free months of Freedom Ticket Extra, which is $77 a month. That's our one of our coaching programs. And so that's a total of $200 worth of discounts that you are getting. So if you're not a Platinum member yet, you can absolutely take advantage of that by going to this link right here, which is h10.me/buy2020. We have another different deal for those who are completely new. And this is like a little test series that we're doing. Very small group and only a specific kind of customer. If you have never sold on Amazon before, you haven't had a Helium 10 account, unless it's like a free account, but we really prefer if you've never had a Helium 10 account at all. Testing out how we can kind of hold your hand over the next 60 days to help you get your first product ordered. So we're having a small group of people join this, and then we're going to have you in a special Slack group where we can kind of answer questions, and we're going to have like little sprints that help you get to, certain goals, like starting your Seller Central account or getting 5 product ideas validated, things like that. Give you some extra motivation and have some accountability, inside of a group. So if that's something you might be interested in doing, again, only if you're brand new to Amazon, never sold, and have never been a Helium 10 member. It's only a 10% discount on that one. You can sign up for Helium 10 and then use the code Bradley10, BRADLEY 10, in order to sign up for that. We need 50 people in that group, but it's a cap of 100 people for that one. So that's Bradley 10. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the strategies. Talking about related keywords. Again, this is something we talked about in that Maldives podcast. Is when there's a brand new item on Amazon, Amazon doesn't have a lot of PPC history, from that product, right? Amazon doesn't have a lot of organic history. What the product has really kind of interacted well with the buyers. So what does it base it on? That's the whole reason why there is like any kind of honeymoon period at all, because in the first few weeks, Amazon's trying to feel out what the product is going to be good for, what keywords are going to bring sales to it. Little things such as purchases and PPC, you see more of a bang for your buck in the beginning because again, Amazon doesn't have enough information yet in order to know what you are going to be good at. So, like if you just get one sale, it almost counts as like more from a mature product because Amazon's like, wow, they got a sale for this, keyword. Maybe they're really relevant for it. So it just you just get a little bit more bang for the buck. So, one strategy that I've been using to get that Maldives effect is really focusing on in the listing copy itself being optimized for the keywords that my main competition is really doing well on. All right. So, what does that mean? So, for example, let's say it's a coffin shelf and there's only maybe two or three coffin shelves that are really crushing it. Right. So, I mean, it goes without saying that one of my main launch keywords is going to be coffin shelf. Right. So, what I do is I look at who is converting for coffin shelves now, like the top 5 organic positions. I'll take a look at brand analytics as well. But it especially helps to use Cerebro. And then what I see is what are the other keywords that the people who are converting well for coffin shelf now, what are they converting well for as well? For example, if you were to look at coffin shelf, it might be gothic decor or coffin decor or spooky gifts, things like that, right? They don't necessarily have to do with that word coffin shelf. And then, so what I'm going to do, if my target keyword still is coffin shelf, even if I'm not launching for those other keywords, I'm going to optimize my listing for those other keywords. I'm going to try and put as many of them in the title, even if that, and I say as many of them, it could be only me two of them. That's fine. In the title, I'm going to duplicate some of those in different parts of the listing, never duplicate in the same field, like maybe have it in the bullet points, description, maybe the search terms, these other ones. So then from day one, when Amazon is looking at your listing, you get a little bit even more bump on the coffin shelf if that's what you're targeting because Amazon, from Amazon's standpoint, it's like, okay, here's this listing. They're targeting coffin shelf, not they're targeting coffin shelf. They're getting sales from coffin shelf. So that's a great sign. But wow, look at this. They share a lot of same keywords and structure in this listing than these other products that are selling well for coffin shelf. So yes, that's like more validation. That's my thought process behind why I tried this strategy. I'm not trying to say, hey, I'm speaking for the Amazon algorithm or anything like that. But that's my thought process of why I approached it this way. And it's had very positive results. All right. The way I came up with this, or why I even had that thought process or that logic, is that's how I got indexed for forbidden keywords a while back on a completely separate case study. If you guys remember, I launched a product in a case study for a hemp cream, right? This is like 9 months ago. And one of the popular keywords for hemp cream is CBD, a lot of CBD related keywords, right? So this CBD related keywords, it's forbidden. You cannot put CBD related keywords in your listing, right? Or else you'll get your listing shut down probably. All right. But I saw that there's people converting for it and they're organically ranking for it and even running PPC for it. Right. So I'm like, wow, that's amazing. How can I try and get that from day one? How can I start being showing up in sponsored ads for these keywords I don't even have in my listing from day one? So what I did was I looked at who was really converting well for these CBD related keywords. And then I took their main keywords, like from their title and the ones that they were converting well for. And I optimized my hemp cream listing, or not mine, but my friend's hemp cream listing to kind of like mimic a lot of those listings as far as their keyword strategy goes. And then what did that mean? From day one, Amazon started showing me in the auto and broad campaigns for CBD related search terms in sponsored ads. And then I converted right away. And then boom, I got indexed within 3 days for keywords that I did not have in my listing. So that's what got me thinking. I'm like, it's obvious that Amazon is looking in the beginning of a listing at trying to relate you to other listings. And then it's going to show you for PPC for keywords that it thinks you might do well for based on how it relates you to other listings. And so I was like, maybe that's going to be the same case for launch as well. And that helps to get the Maldives honeymoon, which again is just kind of like a fancy word for how can we get more bang for our buck when we are launching a product. So again, the basic strategy that we're talking about today for the Maldives is if you're targeting a keyword, not much competition for it, and you want to get a little more bang for the buck, try and make your listing related and optimized toward the keywords that your direct competitors are already converting for, and that will help you even with your main keyword. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and take some questions right now. um Go ahead and give me some questions about the Maldives strategy. That's all we're going to be pretty much talking about today. We might be doing a webinar in a couple of days that is going to be really cool. We're going to have a webinar that you guys had talked about you wanted last week, where it's just all 100% regular people. No software demonstrations, no gurus, no experts, but just like regular Joes and Sallys who are going to come on and talk about some of their successes on from 2020 and what they plan to do on 2021. Give us some motivation to show that, hey, it doesn't take like, an expert or a guru or a YouTube star in order to be successful on Amazon. Anybody really can do it. So that's going to be the goal of that webinar. I'll have more information on that later, but let me go ahead and see, take a look here at, oh my goodness, look at all these comments already. Sean says, is there a sale for Helium 10 in January? Not yet. I don't have any. There's no planned promotions yet for January. All these promotions that I'm showing you right now, they end. Oh yeah, I failed to mention that they end December 31st. All right, so December 31st is when those promotions end. So the January ones haven't been announced yet. Diana says, hola, Diana. GP says, kamusta, Bradley? Mabuti na naman. Ikaw? Zubair in the house. If I'm on at 3 in the morning, if I'm on at 11 in the morning, Zubair is always on here. What's up? Yalchin says, hey, Bradley, what's up? How's it going? Adrian, best thoughts from Oslo. Excellent, excellent. Yanni here on Facebook, and yet it says YouTube there. What's going on there? Diana, you're Yanni. Hello from Serbia. How's it going? Kamusta, Bradley, Pilipinas represent. I don't have my Filipino hat here. Oh, I have it here. All right, we got Sean from UK, Dorothy from Scotland. Marbuk is on at 8 p.m. All right, love it. Ollie from the UK. Timo from Montreal, Canada, proud Helium 10 user. Love to see it. Sigura from the UK, Birmingham. We got Boston in the house. Adriana desde Mexico. Hola, ¿cómo estás? We got Facebook user from Montreal. What's going on? We're only doing Maldives questions on this one. Launch questions right here. I did it before. Now this might be about launch. I'll make it about launch. Amazon is not updating my title, so a lot of people, what they're trying to do because of the Maldives honeymoon thing we talk about is update their title. So you got to keep in mind that, first of all, is your brand name the first words in the title? And then are you sure that you're not doing something that doesn't comply with the standard? So sometimes what happens is you can go to the edit listing or in the customer service section, and you want to update the listing in the customer service section. And sometimes it'll give you when you do it through there, it'll give you the message of what is what Amazon doesn't like about the listing. Yolanda says, do you sleep, Bradley? Sleep? What is that? We got Arslan from Pakistan. How's it going, Arslan? What's up? Weren't you one of the ones who jumped in on one of the enablers deals that we're doing right now? Yvonne says, where do you sign up? So we have two different links. Yvonne, we've got the for the 25% off, you've got h10.me/BYE 2020. Or if you just want to, if you're a brand new user, never had Helium 10, never sold on Amazon, and you want to just sign up, you just go to on that special plan, go to helium10.com and upgrade to the platinum plan, and then just use this discount code Bradley10. So that's what you can do there. All right, where else we got Chris, I believe, in the house. By the way, guys, if you ever see your name coming up here as Facebook user, that means you didn't click the link. So if you're on Facebook, make sure to check above and in the description above, expand it out. There should be a link that you need to click on so that you can give me rights to see your name on Facebook. Craig says, Bradley, do you need to have all the keywords and phrase forming you're listening for search find by? Obviously, the main target keywords will be, but what about the ones you target that are related to your target keywords? Um, Anything that I target in search find by, absolutely I have in phrase form somewhere in my listing because it's very few keywords. I mean, like maybe even if you're doing like 2, 3 campaigns over time, you're probably not doing more than 10 keywords. And so it should be easy to have those 10 keywords somewhere in phrase form. Only the most important ones I put on the main on the title, but the rest I make sure I have in phrase form somewhere. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say that that's necessary, or else you're never going to have success. But it's doable because we're only talking 10 keywords, and if it's important enough for you to target it in a search find by, to me that makes it important enough to have in phrase form in my listing. Sean says, "Is there 25% off if in pay a full year subscription?" No, not at this time. Like we had one thing that was similar to that. That was for like Black Friday or something, but that deal closed. So yeah, the best you can do is the 10% off the full year, and then you kind of it's not really 25% off, but you already save like 1 month if you buy a full year, and then you tack on to that a 10% off. And so it's kind of like getting like 2 months or 3 months for free. I'm not sure what the math works out to, but yeah, 25%. No, sorry. All right, let's keep going with these. Vladimir. Oh, we got somebody watching from LinkedIn. Awesome. Thanks for doing these sessions. Hungry for knowledge. I love it. Wasim says hello from Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum. Let's see. Nicholas says 25% off the first month. Yes, 25% off the first 2 months is that one that I had. We got hello from Texas in the house, and there goes my comments just completely bumped up. There we go. We got is your name Bradley? Or are you saying hi to me for Vancouver? Ollie says, what is CBD? That's actually a good question. I don't even know. It's something really. The reason why it's a forbidden keyword is related to drugs somehow, like marijuana or something like that. I think. I don't know, but whatever it is, it's forbidden keyword from Amazon. Nico says same time as FTX. I'm listening to both Kevin and Bradley. Just listen to Kevin. You can watch this later on. Only listen to Kevin if you guys are in Freedom Ticket Extra. York says, do you close the FBM listing once your FBA listing is active during Maldives honeymoon? No, I never close my FBM listing. I always have have it both running because I want to make sure that I get buy box across the board, even to customers who do not have Prime. And so I wrote a big blog a long time ago about why I always dual list my listings, even before I even thought about the Maldives honeymoon. So you can check that out at helium10.com/blog and then type in like FBA space FBM space listings or something like that. And you can read why I do that. Especially during coronavirus, sometimes when you have FBA, the FBM actually gets the buy box. FBM will get the buy box over FBA, even for Prime members, because it's faster shipping sometimes. Now that the holiday season is over, is that still going to happen? I don't think so, but who knows? You never know what's going to happen. Murhan says hello from Pakistan. What's going on? It's like 1 a.m. in Pakistan, right? All right. Nicholas says about Project On Ramp. That's the other 10% off discount I was talking about. I've read and watched nearly everything about FBA. I can't make the first decision and actually find and choose a product. I don't need motivation or procedures, but direct feedback on product. Is that the plan? If my ideas suck, will you put me on the right path? So that's the plan for the project. For the On Ramp, that private group is one of the challenges. Is you give us, you don't have to put it out to the group. Is 4 or 5 product ideas, and we'll let you know why it's good or why it's bad. Now, it doesn't matter how much of an expert you are, there's nothing guaranteed on Amazon. But usually our team of experts, we can see something or we can tell if something's just like absolutely terrible. Like if you came to me and said, "Hey, I'd like to sell collagen peptides. It looks like a great opportunity." Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know, "Hey, no, I can pretty much know that that's not a good way to go. You need to go a different direction." At the same time, I could tell, you come up with a product that's like, "Oh, I never heard of that before, but wow, look at that. Nobody has any high reviews and it looks like a great product." We can let you know, what it looks like to us. Sana says, "Hey, I want to add a product to my store for my category. It's low competition as it's new, but high in demand. Helium 10 searches 70,000. Good grief. Something low in competition, but 70,000 searches? That's almost unheard of. If I want to use a Maldives strategy, do you think it'll work for massive keywords?" So, absolutely. I mean, we showed you, there was one that I did. I think the correlation I said was it was like Gothic decor and it had like 60,000 searches and we got to the top of page one, with only very very minimal search find buy. So it depends on how the competition is, but it absolutely can work on high search volume. But here's the thing: don't for, you can get to the page one in almost any keyword that you want, regardless of the search volume. But staying on page one is another thing. The Maldives honeymoon strategy is not some special strategy that makes it everlasting. Like you go on your honeymoon, you can have the best honeymoon in the world. That does not guarantee a successful married life. Ooh, look at that analogy right there, guys. Right? It can get you on the right track, but what is going to guarantee you successful happy married life? Well, there's a lot of things that you got to work on. You got to start working. Same thing on Amazon. You can get to page one. You can have the Maldives honeymoon, but it's not going to guarantee you're going to stay on page one. You've got to start converting for those keywords organically in PPC. However, you've got to interact so that it kind of goes in. You've got to have picked the right keywords in the first place so that are relevant to your buyers, not just to Amazon. And then that's what's going to keep you on page one. Van says, "Howdy from Westchester, New York. We got a Facebook user from Milan, Italy. Hey, Bradley, how can I see Project 5K? It's not on YouTube." Correct. It's not on YouTube. We just have podcasts and blogs about it. So just go to helium10.com/podcast and type in Project Space 5K. And then you'll see the blogs and the podcasts that come up for that. Tony says, "Thank you, Bradley. What's going on?" Olga says, "Hola, Bradley. Hola, ¿cómo estás?" Sergio says, "Hello." Tina in the house. What's going on? Os Group. Man, I haven't seen Os Group in a minute. Hello, Bradley. Are these competitors keywords that you target should be in the title of my listing or only in the bullets? It depends. It depends. I've done both. My point was that it's my listings are optimized for it, come based on my competitor strategy too. So, if every single one of my competitors had this certain keyword like in their first bullet point, guess what? I'm going to put that keyword in my first bullet point. If every single one had it in a title, I'm going to have it in a title. Right. So I try and optimize. If it's just all over the place, then I at least want to make sure that it's like in a couple places in my listing in phrase form. If there's like no consistency as far as where it is. Shan from Pakistan. Ooh, that rhymes. I like it. Amara from Pakistan. All right. We got tons of my Pakistani friends here. I love it. Roland from Denmark. We have Stephen from Scotland. How's it going? Fayaz from Washington State. Tanya from Florida. Hola, hola. Zubair says, "You're doing this while I'm off of work, and the times have been great for UK listeners." Excellent, excellent. All right, well, I appreciate that, Zubair. All right, Nicholas says, "Project On-Ramp, is that open to foreigners? Are you shipping them to New York?" Goodies. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So if you're in that special group and then we have those challenges where, hey, you'll get a free Helium 10 t-shirt if you start your Seller Central account within 7 days and things like that. Yeah, we can send that anywhere in the world. The shipping time might be a little bit slow, but Hopefully, it's a little bit faster in January. I mean, shipping times in the United States for post office have been dismal in December. Really, really, a lot of Amazon sellers who use USPS have taken a hit, myself included. H. Timo says, I'm in Canada with borders closed. Is it a good idea to have FBM listing in my Canadian listing and FBA in my US listing? Will I still get buy box if I have North America account? Well, it depends. There's a lot of different ways to sell across the borders. All right. So um, you can do the Amazon one where if you have FBA in one warehouse or in one marketplace, it'll show up in other places. All right. So make sure that that one's active. If you're just fulfilling by merchant and whatever carrier you're using, you got to check with them. Like, hey, can you guys still ship from Canada to US or vice versa? You got that's up to your carrier. So absolutely double check on that. You don't want to put an offering that you can't fulfill. Pinky says, "Hey Bradley, hey Pinky, how's it going? Usually you sign in on YouTube, don't you? We got Facebook users saying hi. Craig B says, my main target keyword for Maldives has only 7 ASINs with keyword and title. Good opportunity. Has only 7 ASINs. Yes, seven's not too bad. Yeah, seven's not too bad. Again, the ultimate is like if there's only one or two. Well, if you get to like 15 or 20 out of the top 30 or 40 listings, then that's not that great of an opportunity. Seven, that's moderate. So if the search volume is like 1,000 or 2,000 or more, and there's only 7 with the keyword and title, I think that's pretty decent. Celso is back. How's it going, Celso? Coffin Shelf is indexed for vampire keywords. Probably from PPC. I don't think I have vampire anywhere in my listing on Coffin Shelf, so that would make sense. Fawad says, thanks. We got Greece in the house. India, how's it going? Celso's in Los Angeles. What's up? Authority Seke says, hey, how's it going? How can I get Helium 10? Any promotion going on? That's what we talk about. Rewind to the beginning. We've got the 2 plans. Remember, guys, we've got the Freedom Ticket Extra 2 months for free. Right now, as another member said, Kevin King is live on Freedom Ticket Extra, and anybody who's a Freedom Ticket Extra member, they can actually literally live ask Kevin King himself questions as we speak. You guys, if you're a Freedom Ticket Extra member, you should be on that thing, not on this. But right there, it's a great advantage. You get 2 months for free of that and 25% off as well. All right, let's see. What is the best launching strategy for 2021? It's just a mixture. Remember, Maldives isn't necessarily the Maldives strategy, isn't like some formula. It's just a kind of like more of a thought, or a general strategy on what you can do for launch. It includes PPC, it includes listing optimization. It's part of your product research. Search, find, buy is part of it. So you do what works, for your niche. You can't use the same exact formula for every single product, every single category on Amazon. You got to do what works for you. Zubair says, we already seen Aaron. Mind blown. Did not see that. I just I saw. I know. I don't read the manga ahead of time, but I could tell from the voice. I thought everybody could tell from the voice that was him. Hello from Israel. We got Patrick from Australia, Lexington, Kentucky in the house. Tanya says, advice to rank a product which was out of stock for a few months. So you can kind of use some of these Maldives strategy. Like, I would go back to choose which were the keywords that were really getting conversions for, and then just check. Sometimes if you had closed your listing, sometimes even if you didn't close your listing, if you suppress your listing, you might get your ranking back right away. I just had a product that was selling amazingly in the beginning of November. It was out of stock for 2 months, and the day that I relisted it, when it came back into stock, and I got back to page 1, position 2 without anything. That's what happens sometimes. Other times you dropped off of page 1, you're going to have to do kind of like a relaunch, go heavy PPC, do some search for my buy. Check out the Maldives Honeymoon episode. I talked about how I took the egg holder from Project X, which was out of stock for over a month, and how we got it back to the top of page one. So that would be pretty relevant to you, I would say, Tanya. Waleed says, hey, Bradley, can you please explain the relevant keyword concept, what keyword to choose for our product once we have selected? It's again, go back to the beginning of this episode, but it's about choosing what your main competition is converting for, like some of their top keywords. Nick Stuff says, on this on-ramp project, how many teachers will it be? It'll be myself, the main ones, Barkus and Karen Thomas, who all are our brand evangelists and specialists and Amazon sellers. And I'm going to be inviting some other just regular people, but who are successful sellers on Amazon in the group as well. And these will be probably people who are coming onto our webinar in a couple of days. And is going to be very interactive, or developing a system that will be more like a course. No, it's not going to be like a course at all. But yes, there's going to be a lot of interaction that's going to be part of this program. Absolutely. Can I use Helium 10 to automate PPC? I'm currently on the $100 a month. On the $100 a month, you can see your PPC data in ads, but you can't actually act on it or automate it. To use the more interactive version of our PPC tool, that's called ads, you need the diamond plan. So upgrade to the diamond plan and you'll be able to automate your PPC. Yes. Should we add phrases in search terms? Most of my phrases have one common word. Do I need to write it again and again then? See, that's where it's tough, because before it was easier in this case because you could do search terms and you had 5 different subject matter fields. So I would do maybe 2 that shared the same keyword in a phrase form in my search terms, and then 1 each in like the subject matter. And then I stuff the rest of the subject matter. But a lot of listings don't have subject matter anymore. So you might have to sprinkle that in other parts of your listing, because you shouldn't be putting like let's say in your search terms, you shouldn't have coffin shelf, coffin decor, black coffin shelf, coffin furniture. Like I wouldn't suggest doing something that crazy like that. No. Hassan from Pakistan, do you consider ACOS a right parameter or tacos? I see sellers going crazy for the ACOS and not calculating tacos. It's both. You can't look at one and not the other. You've got to look at both, and that's why we have both of them right there in at the ads tool, especially in when you're launching. Maran says, what advice for a 2 to 3 month old listing and some left keywords on which not ranked high on page 1? It depends on what strategy you use. 2 to 3 months old, it's a little bit too late to be using the majority of the Maldives strategy, but you can use some of those title points. I've seen some sellers like Tina who use that, and they were able to increase their sales. How to get the 25% off for 2 months using a promotional code? Yeah, you can use the code. You can either just go to this website right here, or you can actually just use the code BYE 2020. If you're already, if you've never used the code before, you can use that BYE 2020. But yeah, if you're already a member, you have to have never had a coupon code before to be able to use that. All right, where's the rest of the questions here? Whoops, let me take off that. We'll just do a couple more here, and then we'll get going. Where are the rest here? David says, hey man, been using Helium 10 for about 8 months. Launched my first product a month ago on Amazon Canada. It's doing pretty well. All right, congratulations, David. That's awesome to hear. How many units are you selling? Did you have a good December? Tushar says, I have a listing active in USA. If I replicate that listing to the UK, Will I get the Maldives honeymoon period in the UK with that particular ASIN? That's a good question. I haven't tested that out. Excellent question. Waiting for somebody else to be the first one to test. Diana says, "Do you think having brand registry before you launch may have a positive effect?" I mean, I'm not sure as far as launch strategy goes. However, just in general, if it helps you from being able to put a video or being able to do sponsored brands or sponsored display from day one, being able to have an A+ listing from day one, those absolutely, if they're done right, they can help. Absolutely. Now, does the Amazon algorithm favor listings that launch with brand registry? I haven't tested that enough to be able to say that. But just on the other side, just the general conversion usually increases on those kind of things. And of course, you're going to get more impressions. The more kinds of sponsored ads you're able to do, which only brand registered sellers can do, obviously you're getting in front of more customers, and that's going to have a positive effect. Sean says, "Can I buy Helium 10 in the UK and a VA also gets access to my account in the Philippines?" Yes, you can do that. You can't both be logged on necessarily at the same time. However, what you can do is if you have a diamond or elite plan, you can have sub users. So a lot of people who have sub users and they don't want maybe their VA or their employees to have the full access to their profits or their full access to something. You just want to pick and choose which tools that they have access to. Like maybe they only do keyword research or they only do product research. Well, anybody who has a diamond plan, you can make sub accounts. They have their own login, and it's kind of like how Seller Central works. Then you can just dictate to them which tools that you want them to see, and that's all that they can access. Does it hurt my title if I add my model number at the end? Will it help become a keyword? It doesn't like necessarily hurt your title. It depends on you how important that title is. Like brand names usually that go off of titles, like the Beats by Dre headphones studio or Beats by Dre headphones pro. Like it's super important for the model number or the model name to be in there. Now, for most private label sellers, um, it's just the product name. Now, if you've got in one brand a lot of the same exact product and the thing that differentiates it is the model number, then yeah, you got to kind of put that model number in there. So it's a case by case basis. It doesn't hurt your Maldives honeymoon though, if that's what you're asking. Where are we at here? Fatiha says, "How do we sign up for the webinar?" Um, we'll have an announcement later on today for that. So be checking here on Facebook and other places. What would you do? And then starting on my live video tomorrow, I'll have the sign up link. But one way, it's going to be broadcast live on YouTube. So the easiest way to make sure that you're going to be notified is go to our YouTube, Helium 10, and then hit subscribe and then turn on notifications. Like watch any of our videos, and there should be like a little bell or something if you hover over and then turn on notifications that will let you know. Would you go for the top search volume keywords for the Maldives launch? I asked with my PPC, one may want to start with lower search volume and storm the castle. Both. You can do both. A key thing though is if you don't think you're going to convert without any reviews for the higher volumes keywords, like you want to wait to get some more reviews before you get to page one there so that you can have a better chance to stay, then that would be the case where you might want to wait a little bit before doing those castle keywords. What's the best we can use from the Maldives honeymoon as a starting strategy for FBA as we have to create the listing earlier? Um, what do you mean? Like, why would you have to? Like, you never have to create the listing earlier. Especially now, you almost have to have a third party warehouse because you can only send in 200 items for a brand new product. So you almost have to do it there, to a warehouse first. But for those who already launched their listing and the product is on the way, some people have closed the listing and then they set the launch date like in a future date. And sometimes they've been able to get some Maldives uh, level launch metrics from that. Let's see. Tina says, when do you use phrase match on your campaign instead of broad or exact? I never use phrase match personally. That's just I like broad. Like I don't see a point. I mean, some people use phrase, and I'm not saying that's bad or all, but just for me, as long as I have my auto and I have my broad and my exact, anything broad is going to cover your phrase. All right. So to me, instead of having four different kinds, I'm fine with just the three types: broad, exact, and manual, or broad, exact, and auto. Sorry. Let's see. Adriana says, when you launch, how many keywords should you target in one PPC campaign? So if you're in the launch stage, I would only start targeting as far as search terms or key, in my exact manual, like only 5, because you have no data. Now later on, if I got data from my auto and broad campaigns, if there's some keywords that are converting well, like I will usually cap the entire campaign at like 20 until I start a separate one. But in the beginning, you shouldn't be targeting 20 keywords, in my opinion, because that's spreading it too wide, and you don't know which keywords are going to have a good ROI for you. All right. Do two-step URLs still work for SFP? Those are two separate things. All right. Two-step URL is not search find buy. All right. Now, if you mean does two-step URLs still work for like, when you're launched? Sure. I've tested them before and they work. They don't work to the extent of search find buy, but the beauty about the Maldives honeymoon is that in that honeymoon period, even two-step URLs, you're going to get incredible results uh, on compared to a 6-month-old listing or a 1-year-old listing. Is it better to do a couple units search find buy to be on the safe side along with Maldives? I mean, it's not really. Is it better to? I mean, to me, that's a part of my strategy. Like search find buy is almost always a part of my launch strategy. All right. Nick says, you offer the on ramp Slack group to new sellers. I create a personal, the one that gets charged $1 or €1 for every sale to sell used books. Is that no? That's okay. If you just have a personal account that you're selling textbooks and stuff, that you'd still be fine to be part of our special program, because that has nothing to do with private label. All right, guys, that's about all the time we have for today. So any other questions, just tag me below, and I'll be happy to get. Good grief, we got 100 people live. So guys, if we get 100 people live right now on something that I just went live without any notification, I expect like 500 of you to be in our Wednesday webinar. It's gonna be Wednesday at 11 a.m. It's gonna be mainly for newer sellers. All right. We're not going into strategy, like I am here. It's a little bit advanced strategy for some of you new ones. This is just for a lot of you guys who are not Amazon sellers, or if you are Amazon sellers and you've just been a little bit demotivated by certain things. I wanted to show you guys kind of like the positive side of 2020, that there's tons of people out there crushing it that are not special gurus, or they don't have their own company or anything like that. They're just like regular Joes and Sallys like you and I, and are crushing it on Amazon. So it's kind of like a little bit of good news to close out the year. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to hear some real life stories, not everybody who's made millions of dollars, there's some people who success to them is making a couple $1,000s a month, and they've done that. So if that sounds interesting, or if you'd like to even share your story as part of that webinar, hit me up on my Instagram. Go to H10 Bradley and H10 Bradley. I'm going to be announcing the webinar on there. And also, if you would like to be a part of that, maybe I can interview you live on that show. Go ahead and send me a DM there. I hope I can get to it. I know most of the DMs go to my junk mail, but I'll have my assistant check it. So thank you guys for tuning in. This was day 4 of our 7-day Maldives honeymoon uh, kind of like push here at the end of the year. And later on tonight or tomorrow morning, we will go ahead and have day 5. And the next thing we're going to talk about is, or today, this was actually day 5. I think today was day 5, right? We are going to, yeah, today was day 5. Day 6, we are going to talk about having FBM and FBA dual listing. We're going to go a little bit more into detail on that. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you tonight or tomorrow. Bye bye.